Hello and welcome to the introductory video for the online Kinesiology 4130 Foods and Nutrition course. My name is Derek Marks. I am your instructor for this class. And in this video, we're going to be covering the basics of how to best navigate this course and really optimize your potential for success in the class and mastering all its content. It should be somewhere 15 to 20-minute videos, usually where these end up. A little bit about myself first. I have been teaching this online class specifically since 2015. I do not consider myself an expert at online course instruction. However, I think I'm getting better at it a little bit. I used to teach on campus at CSU Stanislaus back from 2003 to 2006. I since have moved to St. Mary's College over in the Bay Area. I did teach nutrition classes at Stan State, and I continue to teach nutrition classes at St. Mary's College, where I've been since 2006. One of my roles at St. Mary's College, which I really try and incorporate into this class as much as possible, is I am the sport nutritionist for the Department of Athletics there. So I get to work with all of the athletic teams, the NCAA sanctioned teams, and club teams. At St. Mary's, I get to do team talks, individual talks, work with athletes on optimizing their nutritional strategies for their best performance. So I do try and incorporate that kind of applied aspect of nutrition into this course as much as I can. The online format isn't always optimal for that, but I give it a go. Other things about me, which aren't too important, some of the stuff does come out during some of the lectures. I did live in Australia for a couple of years, and so you'll hear some references here and there to for my time in Australia, which I was there from 2014 to 2016. Very much enjoyed my time there. And that's pretty much it. I'm an exercise physiologist as well, and so I do, especially you'll probably pick up on some of that during our metabolism discussion in this class. This class does build off of your prerequisites. I know that human physiology is a prerequisite for this, and so I do expect that level of application and understanding in this course. While it is still an introduction to a lot of the concepts, I do try and build off of that as much as possible. Yeah, so let's have at it. Don't want to spend too much time talking about myself anyway, so you found your way to this course. Obviously, you're watching this video. This is the homepage on the screen right now for the class. If this is your first online class especially, there's a lot of important information in here. For those of you who are seasoned veterans at this online class thing, you've been there and done that on Blackboard, but still some good information here to keep following along with. So on the left side is the menu for the class. Right now we are on the home page. You'll see announcements and other alerts associated with assignments or quizzes or exams that are due. So this is a nice page to visit on a very regular basis. And is usually, and I don't know how it works for the students all the time, but usually this is the page that comes up when you enter or log into the class's Blackboard page. So again, just sort of a snapshot of information that's important, and I'll often send you announcements to discuss upcoming assignments or whatever that might be, and those will always pop up on here. So other information on this left menu, the topics here, this is the link that you surely clicked on to get to this information. We're going to go over the syllabus in a second. This link right here is your second textbook, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Please download it and keep a copy on your computer. Don't always expect just to download it from the internet. It's a somewhat medium-sized file. It's not huge, but put a copy on your desktop or wherever you keep your data. It's a fantastic book. I love this book. So, but there's a free version of it to you there. You don't have to pay for it, which I love. The author was gracious enough to share it with you. He wants to spread the word and does not want to charge you for it anymore, so I'm cool with that. I'm sure you're cool with that too. So other tool or other links here, which we will visit in some detail later. Yep, we have all your lectures, recorded lectures and lecture notes, your assignments, quizzes, and exams. A big link that I'm going to visit in a little bit is the calendar link, one of probably the most important link in this class. There's other tools and information here that's more specific to you, and it might be different than what's on my menu, but they're often navigation sort of and sort of technical tools that help you manage your Blackboard classes. So let's visit the syllabus. Probably the most important information on this lecture or this discussion. This is not a lecture. on this discussion come from looking at the syllabus. When you click on the link, it provides you, depending on what browser you use, a link somewhere for you to click on the syllabus. I suggest everyone download it, print it, keep a copy in your folder for the class. It's just nice to have for a quick glance kind of thing. But you know where to find it. It's always available online there. So the course description is pretty standard stuff, right? The aim, my goal is very in line with the description. I want to introduce you to and help you develop an understanding of nutritional science, and then apply it to, in some context, whether it's a deep context or not, and it depends on some of the topics, apply it a little bit to the general population, but also the athletic population. So I will really, it kind of has a two-folded sort of goal. Really, let's get to know nutrition as well as possible. I'm a real big fan I'm a foodie, right? And so I want you to understand the right food choices to make versus the not so right food choices to make. The reason that we have that second textbook, The Dark Side of Fat Loss, in addition to our standard one, standard textbooks in nutrition very rarely teach you how to eat. And to me, that should be the purpose of understanding nutrition, is knowing what to eat. The science of it is cool, but if you don't know how to feed yourself, none of it really counts. So my information, course instructor stuff is there. Really, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm happy to Skype or have a phone call with you for a meeting. I'm not on campus at CSU Stanislaus ever. I live in the Bay Area, so I'm not out there. I'd love to make a visit out there at some point. But if you want to have a conversation, a meeting, so to speak, email me. We can set something up. I do that quite happily and quite often. So the intended audience is you. You've made it in. There'll be a background check on your prerequisites. If you don't have them, you'll get dropped from the class. So save yourself the trouble and do it yourself. If you're going to get dropped, someone will send you an email. It might not be from me, but you'll be notified if you're dropped, I think. The course objectives, the course objectives, they're there. That first one, we do not talk much about food labeling, packaging, and food advertising in this class. I used to when I taught this class on campus back in 2003, 4, and 5, but not so much now. We kind of cut to the chase and get around that a little bit. We introduce food labeling, but the other objectives are there though, right? The relationship between diet and weight management and disease we discuss, talk about the macronutrients, talk about digestion and metabolism. Yeah, we get into those things quite a bit. The required texts, there's 2 of them. The Think textbook is your sort of standard nutrition textbook. Practical Applications of Sport Nutrition, I think they are on the 5th edition right now. If you come across an older edition, you'll be okay. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It isn't. Think does her due diligence and makes changes with each updated edition. But this past term, I had people on the 4th edition do just fine. So I don't think there's that many differences. And if you're, really diligent, you can find someone with the 5th edition to compare to. Ultimately, it might save you a few bucks if you go for the older edition, but I do recommend get the newest one. Might as well. Nutrition is always changing. It's not like anatomy, where anatomy book from 20 years ago is kind of the same as it is now. Not so much. Nutrition textbook from 5 years ago is quite different than it is from now. So try and get the new one. It is as expensive as all textbooks are. The good news is that second textbook from Sean Croxton, The Dark Side of Fat Loss, is free, and probably, at least from feedback and my own opinion, one of the more important textbooks and more engaging textbooks that you'll ever have, and you will want to share it with others. Feel free to share it. It's your PDF file. Share it with whomever you want. This is a fully online course. Everything is done online. Of course, like I said earlier, we can talk if you want, but you're probably never going to see me face to face in real life. So everything is done online. And if you're new to this environment, it does take a little getting used to. Again, for those of you that have done it before, you've kind of been there and done that, so you know what to expect. So in terms of the course administration and delivery, all the lectures are posted online. I do lecture recordings, very similar to this video that you're watching now. You'll have a PowerPoint in front of you, and my face will be somewhere in the bottom corner. In my training for doing online classes, they're very diligent about, you need to have a video of you giving the lecture somewhere on the screen, and so I just put it in the bottom corner there. Apparently it helps keep you guys engaged. I don't know why that would be, but that's what they say. I do break some of the rules in online lecturing. Lectures should never be more than 15 to 30 minutes. I definitely go longer than that. I cram my lectures into as short of a time as I can, but they very much feel or are intended to feel like a face-to-face lecture. So some of them get up to the hour mark, and you don't have to watch all of them at once, right? That's the beauty of online. Watch half of it, digest it, come back, watch the other half, right? So the lecture topics and the chapters associated with them are listed here. So I split up the lecture one is chapter one in Fink, and chapter one and the introductory chapters in the dark side of fat loss, which I'll abbreviate DSFL for this class. So you'll notice there are 10 lectures for the semester. It's not, well, you'll see, but I don't think it's too crammed with discussions. It's sort of, a lecture every week and a half kind of thing. Some of them are, pretty easy to handle. Some of them are a little bit deeper. So we have quizzes in this class. There are 10 quizzes, so one 5-point quiz for each reading or for each lecture. So the purpose of these quizzes is really to keep you on track with the readings. So the quizzes are mostly reading based. So for example, quiz one, which is coming up pretty soon, will be on chapter one in Fink and chapter one and the introductory chapters from the dark side of fat loss. Most of the questions in their 10 question quizzes, I'd say 8 to 10, maybe all of them, are going to be straight from the readings. And again, the purpose of these quizzes is to get you to read. The lecture is different than the readings, and you'll notice my lectures don't always match with the readings. In terms of content, I will very much agree with Sean and the dark side of fat loss, more so than I do with Fink. And I know for some quizzes and exams that gets confusing because Fink will say something about a topic that I said the opposite to. In those circumstances, I tend to be very clear, and I will label Fink says in chapter 5 that whatever, and you go, okay, that's a Fink comment, not so much a Derek comment. So, and I try and minimize that. And over the years, that's something I've been working on to try and keep the material as consistent as possible. So 10 quizzes, 5 points each. The top 9 quizzes will be counted toward your final grade. So that basically means that the 10th quiz is bonus. If you take all 10 quizzes, all the points from those 10 quizzes gets thrown into your final grade. That gives you a little bit of the flexibility, or at least peace of mind, to know if you bomb a quiz or if you miss a quiz, no big deal. It's not going to penalize you. But if you're able to take all 10 quizzes, you're rewarded with some extra credit points. So there are 3 exams in this class. They're not cumulative. They're worth 50 points each. They cover the lecture material from the previous section, previous unit. We'll talk about that when we get into the Blackboard part of this little lecture or discussion. Yeah, so there are 3 exams, pretty straightforward stuff. They're all multiple choice or true-false. I guess there's a couple here and there. It's hard to do the more short answer essay questions online. It's actually impossible, if you ask me. There are 5 homework assignments, and the homework assignments are really the applied part of this class. None of them are that brain-racking kind of difficult, but they're more like, hey, let's take the information that we're talking about and let's apply it a little bit. Let's see what it means in the real world. So I'll talk about them very, very briefly in a few minutes when we get to Blackboard. Overall, please make note that the CSU Stanislaus has an academic policy. Please visit this webpage listed here for more details on it. Also, if the Student Disability Service Resource Service link is there in case you need to be made aware of those potential services available to you, and I will accommodate all those needs as best I can. And Stanislaus does a great job communicating with me with all that. So evaluation and points are all here. So you got your exams, quizzes, assignments. Those are the points associated with them. 255 points total for the class, just what it is. Grade distribution, pretty straightforward. I don't give A minuses generally, so if you get 90, you're an A. I dislike that you can't get an A plus. I just think that's weird. So hey, I'm not going to give an A minus then. But everything else does have pluses and minuses. So down here I have important dates. I'm not going to talk about these dates at all right now, but I just have them listed so you can print them. I'll show you where you can find them on the course calendar as well. So. But the dates for all your homeworks are here, your quizzes are here, and your 3 exams. So those are all set. Yeah, so there they are. Like I said, great to print. One of the harder things with online classes is to be reminded of when due dates are, because you don't have these face-to-face opportunities to have an instructor or even a classmate go, hey, have you done the homework for this week? Or like, oh my gosh, yeah, the homework. So one of my tasks or one of my goals is to try and keep you posted on what's due, and I will send emails and announcements associated with that. So that's the syllabus. Nothing too fancy or exciting there. Let's go back to Blackboard. So we're on the Blackboard page again here. This was the page with the syllabus and the dark side of fat loss. And when you got here, there was this video that you're obviously watching now. The lectures and reading material link, you'll notice when you click on it, has 10 folders. Each folder represents a unit or a lecture material. And so if we go to lecture 1, we click on it, it will have the lecture recording, which is loading here. You can make it full screen if you want. Yeah, there's my mug, there's a lecture. It's a short one, it's only a half-hour one. It's a very, very much of an introductory thing, right? With each lecture, I will provide the notes or the slides basically for that lecture. So if you click on that, and this should open briefly, and you can print this. I hope you can download them in printable form. Once they download, it's essentially just the PowerPoint lectures with 6 slides per page kind of thing. My internet here is quite slow, so it's not loading very quickly. But I do really encourage students, to download this and use this as a note-taking template, right? So for each lecture, you have the slides in front of you and just add the notes that you think are appropriate, right? So you print these pages, you can do it in black and white, so you save color, all that good stuff. And so that's the purpose of them. You obviously can do whatever you want with them. All 10 lectures are here. Some of the dark side of fat loss, just to click on another section, I will have dark side of fat loss chapter notes as well. There aren't any specific lectures that I make from the dark side or that I provide from the dark side of fat loss. The dark side of fat loss information is kind of integrated into some of the lectures. The nature of this class, and I've tried it before, in my face-to-face classes, we do dark side sort of seminar discussions. We'll read a chapter and then talk as a group about the main topics of it. For this online environment, that's not working so great. So I try and integrate some dark side into the general lectures, but for the most part, you're on your own with sort of just reading it and understanding it. It's very user-friendly, very reader-friendly, and I do provide notes for you to study off of from the dark side as well. So extra resources. So all 10 lectures are there. If we move down to the assignments link, you'll see that the 5 assignments are listed here. Mindful eating is your first one that's due in February, middle of February. This is my introductory assignment just to get you thinking about food and making sure I can see that you can write and submit an assignment online. For this assignment, when you get to it and you get to this page, you can do one of 2 things. You can click on this link, and this gives the guidelines for the assignment. And I suggest you do that for all the assignments. So you click on that link, and it'll open up a Word document. There it is. And it will talk about what to do for this assignment. And this is the mindful eating assignment is just kind of a fun exercise, and you just need to write a page reflection paper on it. So that's what these links are for all the assignments. When you click on the assignment itself, the assignment link, Blackboard will bring up a page that looks like this. And this is where you submit your assignment. And you can click the Write Submission, and this gives you an opportunity to write it onto Blackboard. I don't suggest you do that. What I suggest you do is write your assignments in Microsoft Word or as a PDF file. Don't give me pages or anything like that, because those don't come through very well. My computer sometimes doesn't like it. So please, Word and PDF work best. When you're ready to upload it, and just upload it from your computer, you click Browse My Computer, and you've done this before. You click on that, you find your assignment, and then you click Submit, and your assignment's submitted. And so that's as easy as it is to submit an assignment online. One thing I want to point out on the assignments link page is that for some assignments, not the mindful eating, but let's say your second assignment, which is due in March, the grocery assignment, I provide a little video. This one's 6 and 7 minutes long, sort of a video tutorial on how to best complete that assignment. And I think that's important for you all. because we don't have that face-to-face interaction, here's how you best do the grocery assignment. Dietary analysis 1, do the same thing. Here's a video tutorial on dietary analysis 1. Yeah, it's 20 minutes long. It's a long kind of video. To me, it's a really important sort of part of this class is understanding what dietary analyses are all about. So I get into some extra detail there. I don't know if it's worth watching or not. I think it is. I do give a little tutorial on macronutrients and meal planning because we don't take much time in lectures to do it. So this little 10-minute tutorial will help you with your 2 dietary analysis projects. So dietary analysis 1 tutorial, the meal planning. Here's dietary analysis 2, and a 16-minute video on how to complete that. It's definitely different than dietary analysis 1. And then finally we have the last assignment, build a supplement, and there's a 7-minute video on how to help you do that. So again, all these resources are here for you, whether you use them or not, I have no control over. So, but I do suggest for success in this class, please, please, please check them out. The assignments are the place where I feel the applied nature of the course comes out, and I don't even feel, students do best on the assignments. The quizzes and the exams are tough, and I don't want to like lull you into some sense of like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be a piece of cake. Quizzes are challenging. Like I said earlier, they come straight from the text for the most part. I don't want to say 100% because every once in a while a lecture sort of sneaks in there, but you'll see if you do, the quizzes are reading quizzes. And so on this page you have your 10 quizzes listed. The due date for them is listed just in parentheses next to each one when you're ready to take the quiz. And they're all 10 questions, and I provide 12 minutes for all of them. When you're ready to take the quiz, you click on it. It gives you some instructions here, and then once you click begin, your 12-minute timer starts. If you log off, the 12-minute timer continues, so you have to complete it in 12 minutes. I think I say you have to complete it in one sitting. Well, technically you can do other things but sit, but you know what I'm saying. Once the timer starts, you have 12 minutes to complete it. If you go over, I get an alert, and points will be deducted if you go beyond the 12 minutes. So be mindful of that. That's true on the quizzes and the exams. The exams, just like the quizzes, they're listed here. There's a little bit more information on this page. So exam 1, which is March 1st. 65 questions in 80 minutes. That's way too long, but that's what it is. That's what I'm keeping it at. Exam 1 is there. I've provided a study guide for exam 1. And then I've also given you a 10-minute video, well, not video so much, but a verbal sort of study review for exam 1. Great resources to help prepare you for the exams. I think they're very helpful for the students. Have the same thing for exam 2, which is until early April. Study guide, also a video review, and then for the final exam, which is not due until the very last day of finals, there's a study guide and a video review. One thing to make note of as the creation of this video right now, the final exam, as you'll even see right here, it only includes chapters 7, 8, and 9. I have not added chapter 10 yet to the study guide or the exam review as of yet. And I will change that, and I'm planning on changing that. If something happens, I may not change it, and you may not get study guide information for chapter 10. Not a big deal, but just FYI. One thing to make note of too, these are the due dates listed for both the quizzes and the exams. You can take them anytime during the semester before the due date. They don't open up and close, they're open now. Like you could literally take everything the first day of the semester. I don't suggest it. What I've found in the past is that students didn't like the windows that I was giving them to take it. So this semester I'm saying, hey, take these exams and quizzes whenever you want. I just need them submitted by a certain due date. So that's how it works with the quizzes and the exams and the assignments. So finally here is the course calendar. This is a huge place, I think, for you all to visit. And so it's not quite January yet as of the making of this video, but by the time you're watching this, it probably is. And so this is just the class calendar, and you probably have all of your classes listed on here. So your calendar may look much more full. This calendar only has this one class on it for me. So what I do on the calendar is I suggest dates for you to watch the lecture. So you'll see right here, yep, lecture 1, sure. I also suggest that you watch the introductory video. This is the 28th, which I think classes start the 25th, which is just weird to me. So I'm starting classes on the 28th. Quiz 1 is due the end of the first week. So February 1st, Quiz 1 is due by midnight. All the quizzes and exams and assignments are due by midnight that day. I suggest you watch and read the materials associated with Lecture 2 the second week because Quiz 2 is due the second week. As you go through the calendar, you'll notice Mondays are where I kind of suggest you do things, which is generally just the lectures. Fridays are when stuff is due. You have complete flexibility and freedom to turn in stuff whenever you want. That's not my deal. But I make them do Fridays. They used to be due Thursdays, and people complain about that. Sure, I make them do Fridays. That's fine. Just, it's all up to you. And if that's the thing about this type of class, it's up to you to really stay on top of stuff. And so use this calendar. Hey, you see you have 2 quizzes due the first 2 weeks, then you kind of have a week off, at least from what I'm suggesting you do. Mindful eating assignment is due the end of that 3rd week. Then we kind of get into the next set of lectures. So do I need to do anything else on this calendar? No. Throughout the term, expect me to send you information here and there. Keep an eye out for things. Please, please, please don't hesitate to ever email me or contact me if you have questions about things. I want you all to have a successful semester through this course, and I think the more we can communicate, the better. That's all I got for now. Have a wonderful semester, and see you soon.